Mac and cheese tonight.
Knocking it up. That's awesome.
We need an on-air sign in here.
Yeah.
We're good? Alright.
So,
welcome to Retro Lab Records. You know, it'll say Retro Lab.
more work.
Today we have with us 5-time Grammy Award-winning band, the Infamists.
Let's give it up for them.
Yeah.
Yay. 5.
It's actually Razzie Awards.
Razzie?
Yeah. We don't know nothing about no Grammys.
Yeah.
What you talking about?
What's your, we'll start with Spencer.
So, I'm Spencer Wharton and I play the bass guitar.
Riley Rogers, guitar and vocals.
And I'm Ryan Weiss, I play the drums.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you.
So, what's the inception of the Infamous? How did you guys start?
Well, I am from Amarillo, Texas, and I moved here to go to UNT in 2012, and I didn't know anybody, and I wasn't old enough to go to bars and meet musicians or anything really, so I got on Craigslist and found him in the casual encounters section. And turns out he plays bass.
Very nice.
Hated each other the minute we met each other.
And we're still doing it 6 years later because we hate each other.
And so then we started the band. Ryan came in about 6 months after that or so.
8, 9 months.
On Craigslist too.
Yeah, on Craigslist. Met him on
Yeah,
Craigslist too. Kind of the idea was 3-piece, blues-driven rock and roll band, big amps, riffs, guitar solos, be a little tongue-in-cheek, piss people off once in a while, that kind of thing. I thought of the name when I was in the shower, and didn't know what the hell it meant. And I guess after 6 years, we kind of grew into the name. Because now it's kind of gotten to the point where it's like, hey, Infamous are playing tonight, and it's like, oh shit,
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Wonder what's gonna happen there. It's,
hide your liquor.
So, that's kind of the idea of the band.
That's awesome.
Three-piece blues-driven rock, and over the years, I mean, we've had phases. We got into bands like The Sword and Red Fangs, kind of stuff like that. Then we came back to the blues, and we kind of got into psychedelic stuff. So. The other thing is, there's not a lot of rules. Kind of just write what we feel, and if it works, it works, So.
Yeah. Y'all jam hard. Are y'all really particular in when you're writing, or do y'all leave room to really just jam and see what comes out?
I think we've written songs every which way you can think of.
Yeah. Usually starts off with like a riff or something, and then we kind of build upon that.
Yeah, we've had ones where I'll do the majority of it, and then they'll come in, or he'll do the majority of it, or I'll do the riff, he'll do the lyrics, I'll do the riff, he'll do the lyrics. Sometimes we just jam and we write them from scratch. That's another thing, no rules on that either. If somebody's got a good idea, it's a good idea. And some of our best stuff has just come out every which way. He titles a lot of songs. He's like the title guru. Ryan, I would say, is kind of like the common sense guy. He'll tell us you're overthinking it.
Yeah.
Stop that shit.
It keeps you grounded, right?
Yeah. We've all got our jobs, I guess.
Well, we do have one rule, and that's no more secret songs.
And School of Rock, no secret songs. So, yeah. Can't be afraid to write a bad song.
It's true.
You
got it right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Bad
that's
songs are good ones.
Yeah.
That's true. So this is your latest release.
Yeah.
Right.
Third
Through
album.
Hell and High Whiskey.
Yeah.
Not streaming yet.
Not yet.
Not
Will be.
official.
Not yet.
But you can purchase one at a show.
Yes.
See, that's why you got to get out to a show, boys and girls. Don't
There's
forget.
the first 5 songs are on Bandcamp.
Okay.
So you can get on Bandcamp, you can buy 5 of them. But we've got a few more release shows through the end of the year. trying to kind of encourage people like come to a show and buy a physical one
Right.
before we put it on Spotify and all that stuff where people can listen basically for free.
Yeah.
So it'll be out before the end of the year.
Very
But
nice.
right now, if you want one, we're trying to encourage people, come and get the physical copy. So.
What well, who came up with the artwork?
It's Katie Montgomery,
Yeah.
Denton-based artist. She actually does our T-shirts too.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
She
shout
artist.
out.
Yeah.
She did my solo art too, and she pretty much has done basically everything noteworthy that we have done art-wise. I had this concept where I was like, I want to like this fucking satanic bottle with like this like lava-looking liquor flowing out of it,
Nice.
and it really just kind of fit the title, and then that's what we got out of it. So
Yeah.
I was very, very pleased with that
Yeah,
artwork.
Yeah, that's great.
Have you worked with her from the first album, from the beginning?
No.
She-
Wait. Yeah.
She helped the design work on the second one because we had one EP, and the first two we did ourselves. Like I mixed them. First EP was like really low budget. We had an electric drum set. We didn't have nice amps. Just doing it in my bedroom, I guess. I had a crappy program too. It was like a Best Buy computer program. I mean, we were working with like, as low budget as you could get.
Yeah.
And second album, a little bit better production. We did a full length called Thrill to Hunt. And then this one we went into a studio. And we just spared no expense, did the best thing we could. Because the critique we would always get is just your songs are good, just the recording quality is not quite there. But she helped the design on the second one. She did the artwork for that. She's done our T-shirt. Just she's a really good friend, and she does everything. She designs like yoga pants, and
Wow.
She paints.
She paints. She does print work. I mean, she's yeah.
She's out there hustling.
Katie Montgomery though. So
Katie Montgomery.
for anybody wanting
Shout
to,
out.
Plug.
1124 Designs.
yeah.
1124 Designs. Okay,
Company's
nice.
called.
Nice. Very cool.
That's cool. What was your recording process for this? Then going into a studio, where'd you record?
We recorded at MediaTek in Dallas, and we
Oh.
did all the rhythm tracks together. And then Riley went in and did the overdub on the vocals and the
Lead.
lead work.
Did y'all pay for that, or did you have like a friend who was going to school there that helped y'all with that?
Yeah.
Both. Okay.
So he was
Especially for a full length.
Yeah. he had access to the facility,
Yeah.
and but he was going to school there. But we paid him, I think, like $50 an hour,
Oh.
and we would just go in there every, I think it took like 12 sessions or so. As a band, we do a few songs each session. I would go in and do the overdubs. His name's Craig Rowley, and he runs
Oral Lab Tech
Oral.
is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's on the back of it.
Yeah.
Oral Labs.
Oral.
Oral.
It's like RLR. Yeah. Auroral.
Oral Tech.
Oral.
Yeah.
Oral
Yeah.
Tech. Okay. Craig
That's
Rowley at
What
Oral
kind of,
Tech Sound Lab.
It's
Sound
a sound
lab.
lab. Okay.
Sound
It's a
Sound
sound
lab.
lab.
Very cool.
Everything's a lab.
Everything's a lab.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's very cool. So it was a positive experience. You guys really dug working with him.
Craig's great.
Craig is
Yeah,
awesome.
it was fantastic.
Yeah.
So let's get into it here then.
Nitty-gritty.
What's your biggest band influences? You kind of mentioned a few, but I don't know.
All of ours are different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we'll
all
have to go
three of
down
us
that
like
line.
listen to
It's-
different
yeah.
stuff.
Really?
It's-
Oh,
it's
dude,
a
that's
Give
good
us,
awesome.
let's start with Spencer.
Yeah,
Give
that's
us your
kinda-
top three.
Top
My,
three.
like top three, like I listen to obviously like Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers and the Rolling Stones and like a lot of like just like the Eagles, man. Like I just like that like Southern Americana rock and roll, which is really funny because it does not translate at all to this music. But there's a lot of my influence in this music also, which I really like. But he takes my influences and then turns a fuzz pedal on.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Which works.
There you go. You put a big
Pick it up
bump
on
it.
it.
Yeah, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Mine are so probably the one that has had the biggest influence lately is probably The Sword.
Sword,
Really into them. probably my favorite band of all time is the Smashing Pumpkins. So
Okay.
kind of a difference there.
Yeah.
And then favorite guitar player was Angus Young from AC/DC. So
Nice, nice.
a lot of people give them crap, for the simplicity of the riff, but it's like, me personally, I'd rather listen to like Malcolm Young just bang on an A chord through his Marshalls than I would, all the crazy stuff other people can do. So something about the power of them I really like. That'd be my top 3.
Very nice.
Yeah, I grew up listening to a lot of like the kind of scene music, I guess, like Under Oath, Silverstein,
Yes.
stuff along those lines.
Nice,
Yeah.
dude.
And that's something Ryan and I bond on because we were both Dallas Fort Worth.
Yeah, and that was huge. Or
That was like
yeah.
something like he was like, I like this band. I was like, I like this band also.
Yeah.
And Riley's like, I've never heard of
I
this
never.
band.
Yeah.
Dude,
I was
so-
like, what the hell?
Sometimes it's
Yeah.
just like a journey back in time when you hear a song like that. It's just like, oh man,
Yeah.
I remember this like
I-
years ago. you
I'm
know?
from West Texas. Like, we didn't have a lot of a very big music scene out there.
Your,
So
your parents raised you on a lot of classic music.
yeah, classic rock. Stole all those records from my dad. But we had a little bit of the scene metalcore type stuff, but
Yeah.
not nearly as much as down here, I don't think.
Yeah, it's really is huge in Dallas.
Yeah.
But
Let's see. Love the Police. They're a huge influence. Just all fantastic musicians.
Stuart Copeland.
Yeah. he's on my Mount Rushmore of
Oh, yeah.
drummers for sure.
very nice.
And been getting into a lot of rap lately.
That's
Like Run the Jewels, Brockhampton, Outkast. So I try to listen to the beats that they do and
Right.
try to emulate. It's kind of hard because
Yeah.
it's through a machine.
Yes,
so it's like
exactly.
so perfect.
Yeah, the hi-hat work, right?
Yeah, it's constant subdivisions.
Yeah.
It's
That's
nuts.
funny.
So I
That's
guess
great, though. It
I
keeps
guess you
around.
could almost say it's like those kind of beats with stoner rock riffs with Southern Americana undertones.
Yeah.
I guess if you had to make an infamous pie,
Right.
that
yeah.
would be what it's
That
made
would
of.
be it. That's
It's the
awesome.
beauty of a band.
Yeah,
Y'all
it is,
just
man.
3. It works even though how different you guys
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
It just it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is the beauty of it.
We edit these, so this will be
What
okay.
about like I know we touched up on writing process a little bit, but I mean it's pretty much it just were any of them written in the studio? Were they all written before?
No, I don't think we would be good at writing in the studio.
Yeah.
We're all 3 of us are too like tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So y'all definitely had it set out in mind. Y'all had a certain amount of songs, and y'all just went in and just knocked it
Yeah.
out, right?
Yeah.
much.
That's cool.
Yeah, we pretty much like when we write the albums, it's like we don't write like 30 songs and pick like the best
Yeah.
10. We write 10,
Right.
and like that's like we've scrapped a few songs along the way because like we'll write songs and then we'll test run them at gigs, and if we get a good reaction or they feel good, we'll keep them. There have been a few we've scrapped. We had this one song one time called Orc Witch. And it
That's
was
cool.
like our attempt at like Tolkien fan fiction or something.
It did not work.
And it just sucked.
But we took the good elements of that song and then turned it into Lunar Rambler.
Yeah,
which is
Lunar
just-
Ramblers.
Oh, okay.
That riff was originally in a song called Orc Witch.
And I
very
think
nice.
we originally had 11 songs, and we were like, we'll just do 11 one, and then we wrote the track Whore Dog. That was the last song I think we wrote, and we were like, okay, this is too good
Yeah.
to keep
Yeah.
off. Let's just go ahead and throw that
Yeah.
on there too.
Yeah, nice.
I really do love the track names.
Yeah.
Whore Dog.
Orc Witch to Lunar Rambler to Whore Dog.
Yeah.
Very,
great.
very.
You kind of spoke briefly on your plans for the future, and you have things planned out pretty far in advance. How does that work? How do y'all? I don't know.
Well, we took a lot of the last summer off from gigs because I mean we gig regularly on a local level, like every other weekend, every weekend usually. We do a lot of regional traveling and stuff. We just took the summer off, and just all these songs came together, kind of out of nowhere. So we've got like the 4th full length,
It's done.
or the 4th album, I
Being
guess.
written anyway.
It's pretty much written. We're pretty happy with it. we've got another concept idea for a 4-track EP, and then we've got a live album we're planning on doing probably in some point in the next 3 years. I mean, so we've really got this mapped out. Like, it's all mapped out, I guess.
That's
and
cool.
it was over the summer. It just all came together. And it was funny because people were like, this hasn't even been released yet.
And we're already working on the fourth
yeah,
one.
We worked on this. This one probably took like a year and a half to write it and play it all, a year to record it, and then waiting on it to get done. And it's not even out. And we're already like, no, we've got like the next 4 years of our lives planned.
Planned it.
So enjoy 3 years ago, living in the past.
I
You
think,
know?
I think that that's a huge strength of ours, though, because I think a lot of bands fall apart when they don't have a vision or a plan.
Right.
Because like we constantly talk about what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And we fight a lot,
Yeah.
sort of ish. If you want to call it fighting,
Not
I guess.
physical.
Yeah, right.
Not physical. But
But we argue, and then we all like eventually come to this like
yeah,
agreement.
productive headbutting
Yeah.
is what I would
exactly,
call
yeah.
it.
That's a good term.
Because it's like, no, this should go here. No, this you should say this or whatever, and it gets steamy. And then when we're done, when the song's done, it's like, all right,
Figured it out.
what's
Yeah,
the
right.
next thing to sink your teeth into?
Right.
You know, so
On to the next one.
yeah,
You can't kind of get caught up too much, and it's you're all vulnerable in that space, so
yeah,
finding people you can work with on that level is really nice.
yes.
It is.
We work well together. I think. I mean, 6 years with, the same lineup. So I think that's a lot of people are impressed by that.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
shows.
so
Yeah, right.
The
Like,
chemistry is
yeah.
there too.
Most
Yeah.
definitely. That's
Um,
great.
let's see. What's some of your pet peeves of other musicians?
oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
putting us
what do
on
you-
the
Don't
spot
answer
here.
or get you in
How about-
trouble.
How about
Yeah,
of,
yeah.
how about of ourselves?
Of yourselves? Hey,
yeah, I'll tell you my
work,
pet
that'll
peeve
work.
of him.
Oh,
or-
God.
That'd be more interesting.
I'm just gonna start walking out of the room and come back in a minute.
You got a list of things.
Everybody already knows how much you hate me. It's fine.
Anybody want to go? So, my idea,
start
so
this
feel
one
free
off,
to hit
yeah.
me first. You know?
It's just,
Um,
I swear to God, his control freak, anal retentive perfectionist mind. It always is for the greater good and the benefit, but sometimes it's like, dude, just let it be.
I'm a lot better than I used to be.
Yeah. I think that
Pretty OCD.
I think the more that like I came into my own as a songwriter, because he made me as good as I am. I freely admit that. Like
Whipped him.
he made me
There
really
you
fucking,
go.
really fucking good. And like now, like when I hear our songs, I think of it like, how's it gonna sound on the record is the first thing I think of more. And I think his thing is like, we gotta do it live before we do the record. And I
Yeah.
think the opposite way. And I'm like, all right, Riley, you need to calm down. It's okay. It's gonna be fine. And he's like, no. And I'm like, it's fine. I think we talk each other down off the ledge.
I
a lot.
overthink things a lot.
Yeah.
That's why whenever I was doing the mixing for our first 2 albums, I would just drive myself insane.
Dude.
I'd be like, it doesn't sound good enough.
Right.
And then it's like this album, I didn't do any of that. I showed up,
nice.
sang, played guitar, and Craig did it. And having that other ear,
Oh man.
big, it was way more liberating for me.
Definitely.
I don't have to mix it.
Right.
And Craig just knew what to do, you know, so.
Yeah, having multiple years on a project is ideal, man. It's so
Yeah.
ideal. I mean, that's why people get it recorded here. They may get it mixed here and mastered way out there. You know, it's like
Yeah.
people do that, and that's their own process. But in a way, it's good. Just more of a rounded out listening to make sure it sounds okay to other listeners, I suppose. But,
Everyone has a different perspective,
Yeah.
and we're all listening to different music. And
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's like, well, if this guy didn't notice my flub, then, no,
Yeah, right.
no one else is going to notice my flub either if I miss a note or something, So.
yeah, you also kind of need those band members to keep you in check.
Yeah.
We've had several bands interview and play with us, and they're always way harsher on each other than you ever are. It's like, hey man, you fucked that up. It's like, oh geez. Okay.
Yeah, man.
But they're
I'll
cool
let
with
them
it.
handle it.
There's,
I don't think we're quite that bad.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, right.
We don't put each other on like report cards or
Because we
anything.
we all know internally, like, okay, you fucked up. Go home,
Yeah.
fix it,
Yeah.
and we're good.
I've had shows we're like rolling around on the ground, or a string breaks and you can't do anything but go nuts. I mean, I remember it was one of our first shows with Ryan. He got so angry. Didn't you like throw your sticks?
Yeah.
I just look back, and I guess it was one of our first shows when he just hurls his sticks in like rage at how he did. That'd be my critique of him, is he sometimes overthinks his performance a little bit.
Ryan's really hard on himself.
Yeah.
And I think it shows, because he's such a good fucking drummer.
Yeah.
And again, you're both like perfectionists.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did it get the job done?
Yeah.
Fuck it, let's go home.
That would also be my critique of you, though, because then it's like sometimes
You're too lenient.
Because sometimes we'll be writing a song and he'll be like, "Hey, I thought of this boo boo boo," and I'm like, okay, well, it doesn't have to always be the first thing you think of. Let's challenge ourselves.
Right.
Let's try to write something really unique. But then we fall into what he critiqued me for, is overthinking it.
Yeah.
So we've gotten a lot better about like finding everybody's what they're comfortable with and what their flaws are, to balance each other out and everything. But yeah, OCD perfectionist, overthinks his things. Sometimes
doesn't give enough of a shit.
Yeah. Sometimes too apathetic.
Yeah.
So yeah. And of course we all drink a lot, and we party, and
That helps.
sometimes it's like I tell them, it's like, we should give a little more of a fuck what people think of us, and it's like, well then.
But do we?
That's the whole point of the band.
Right.
That's how
roll.
we like grew into that name. It was like, what does the Infamous mean? I don't know. I thought of it. It was 19, and I thought of a name. It was also not taken.
Yeah.
I mean, you
That's
try to name your band anything, it's taken.
It's something that can pull up on Google easy enough where you're not.
We're the only thing that pulls up on Google if you type that in.
Well, there's
for a million pages.
There's one dude on YouTube, some rapper, the Infamist.
Yeah.
But
it's just singular.
We pluralized it. And then there's a death metal band. I think they're from Europe or something, but their album is like Necro Infamist of the something Cosmos or something. It's like some crazy. But the people who listen to that would probably never listen to us.
And but if you just type in the Infamists, even if you just type it in singular, usually our stuff is the stuff that pops up.
We've laid a lot of groundwork on the internet, so
that's nice.
Nobody's really stealing our name from us, I don't think. So.
Yeah. That's good, man.
Well, hey, you've had it this long, so you can always
Yeah.
be like, "Hey, look, man,
we've
had this.
about?
We've been using this."
Yeah.
Who are you?
I will physically fight somebody.
Right. Fight me for my band name.
Let's see, what is the best show you guys have ever seen? One of the best.
Scene?
Could be locally, could be nationally touring.
I mean, we saw the Stones in 2015.
Nice.
We saw Guns N'
N'
Roses in
with
2016,
Slash and Duff,
which was fucking phenomenal.
I saw Smashing Pumpkins, and I was almost like one of the first. I was one of the first rows because our seats got upgraded because they couldn't quite fill American Airlines.
Okay.
And this was when they had James and almost the whole.
So it wasn't the most recent one.
It was most recent.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
It was.
It was it was a month or two ago. That's one of the best I've seen.
Nice. Very nice.
What about you?
Summer going into my senior year of high school, 9 Inch Nails played at American Airlines Center, and it was like $50 a ticket, and I was like floored because the production was just so like elaborate, like Trent, like he'd control like the LED screen with his hand or something. It was like,
that guy's done some mushrooms.
And I was just like blown away by that.
I think one of the coolest performances I ever saw was when I was a little kid. I've now seen this guy 3 times, all before the age of 15. His name is Gordon Lightfoot. I don't know if you guys know him, but he was like he's one of like the most influential, like, not only Canadian like musicians, but like folk musicians of all time. And like he has like a 45-piece band. It's ridiculous. And he just walks out and he just sits on a stool with his little guitar, and he's got like this wall of musicians behind him. And like a lot of them like sit and wait for that like 8 measures where they've got the part, and then they're sit there. And but like I learned from watching him like how to orchestrate music like layer wise, because he's just got so many different layers to his music. But it's simple.
That's crazy. That's like bringing your 65 tracks on your recorded album to a live.
show.
Everyone's
Yeah.
playing your stuff, dude. That would be nuts. It's like, look what I recorded, but live, and everyone's playing your part. If you had multiple instruments, I'd like to see that. Gordon Lightfoot.
Yeah, man. You should
Very
check him
nice,
out
dude.
if you like
Very
folk
nice.
music.
Yeah.
What's the favorite show? Y'all's favorite show you've ever played?
That we played.
That you all played. Yeah.
The tree show's got to be up there.
Yeah,
right?
Trees is on
Very
there.
nice.
We finally got into Trees.
We played with WoFat at Double Wide.
Double
That was-
wide.
That was really
great.
fun.
That was
Who'd you play with at Trees?
unmentionable. Yeah.
Oh, unmentionable.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Like another one was there's been some really good local ones, but
We played In Hip End It.
yeah,
That was a lot of
Independent
fun.
in Houston. Our friends in a band called Vanilla Whale threw this huge festival. And it's just all these stoner rock bands and blues rock bands and just it was all day. It was like 4 stages. You just go stage to
just do
stage.
this.
One starts when another
All
one's
day.
done.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, they had some really great stuff. That was a whole day of 2 days,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Met a lot of people networking there.
Octopia. Every
Yeah,
time
I
we played
feel like-
Octopia, it was
yeah,
always
Yeah,
fun.
Octopia, definitely.
Andy's Bar in Denton's always a rager.
Yeah.
Our
Um,
5-year
play there all the
anniversary
time.
show last year at Abbey
Yeah.
Underground was like 200 people.
Yeah.
It was insane.
In Denton, there's a lot of house shows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those
So
are always fun.
house
like,
shows-
regardless, yeah.
house shows are always great. Kind of hard to sell merch, because you're in the
Yeah.
backyard trying to watch over
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But house shows are always fun. He used to have a house we would throw parties at.
Oh,
Yeah.
MF Ruckus, yeah.
Yeah. MF
a band
Ruckus
from
at the
Colorado, MF Ruckus, played there with us. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was nice.
Basically, we just have fun everywhere we go.
Yeah.
that's what it
We-
sounds like.
Right, bring the
man.
party with
Yeah.
you.
We love
Great
playing live.
experience.
I
Oh,
mean,
dude,
yeah.
yeah. Live to play live.
yeah,
Live
we
to play
we
live.
used to get told like, you guys are a live band, and then we were like, okay, well, next album we're gonna fix that, so we
Yeah.
did this.
Yeah, it's not the best compliment to you, and
Yeah.
you hear that because you're like, what is that?
It's
Does that
like a
mean you don't
double.
wanna-
It's
I wanna
like a
be
double-edged
there.
sword.
Yeah.
I'd like to be a better live band
Yeah.
than on the recording, because we
Oh,
just
man.
love playing live, but we
Yeah.
want the record to be good too.
Exactly.
Just
Exactly.
gotta capture the live magic.
Right.
We have fun no matter what. If there's 5 people there, I mean, we're like, cool. We don't have to take it so seriously. We can
Yeah.
go nuts. If there's a lot of people there, the crowd makes the show. I always play better when there's more people. So
Yeah, man, you get more into it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
feel the
definitely.
crowd.
Energy.
That's why it's great to play new songs to the crowd.
yeah,
It's like, oh man, this is a good night to try this new song.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the
now we can
basketball
really-
player who does the
So-
best in the tightest moments or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
just
yeah,
kills
yeah,
it, and
yeah.
the like when the pressure's
Clutch
on, that's when he
moments,
kills it.
Yeah, passive.
Yeah.
Better
There
when-
it is. LeBron James.
Yeah. We played in so our friend we mentioned earlier, Katie Montgomery, we played like her going away party when she moved for a little bit in her backyard. There were probably like 150 people in this backyard,
Dang, nice.
and
We got the show shut down
yeah,
after we were done.
cops
Yeah.
came, it was-
People were like fire twirling and
Yeah,
shit
fuck
though.
yeah.
Like,
Oh my God.
It was nuts, but yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. We have fun at all of them, but yeah. Trees one and Double Wide one. It's been some good
Trees, man. I like trees. It's just the perfect kind of size for
Yeah.
intimacy,
Yeah.
but not
The
too
sound is
small.
phenomenal too.
Yeah,
Like,
sounds
yeah.
good.
ones. We showed up there, I think like 4 hours early to load in and sound check, and I mean that's like the place where like you spend all day getting ready for it, and the sound check, I was like, this is gonna kick ass.
and it did.
And it did. It was great.
How do y'all feel about Gas Monkey?
Oh, love gas.
Love
Love
it.
Gas
Yeah.
Monkey, man. Love
Gas Monkey's great.
Gas Monkey. They
Yeah.
treat you like
Yeah.
kings there.
Yeah.
They treat you like kings, man.
We've
Like-
done the bar and grill.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
haven't-
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
We haven't done the live
live.
one yet.
Yeah, the live. No,
Shit,
it's-
live is so
live
good.
looks
It's
crazy,
nice,
man.
man.
Live is for
Yeah.
live.
Hopefully we could do one maybe like when the weather's cooler. It's been like just
Yeah,
blistering
both
hot.
times. Oh,
like,
actually, all three
it's-
times we played
yeah.
there, it's like 106 degrees outside. It's like
God.
the hottest day of the year every time we play
Yeah,
there.
and you're right next to that pond, and the
Yeah.
humidity
It
like
just-
emitting
Oh.
from that
Bouncing off.
doesn't help
Yeah.
either. So
The first time we played there, it was on July 1st, 2017. I'm never gonna forget this because like I almost passed out, like
God.
walking to the car to take my gear back to the car to change into not death trap clothes.
yeah.
Oh, it was. Oh god, it was so hot.
The scope of our shows, though, I mean, we played one the other night. We played a Halloween party the other night in this rundown little dive bar, you know, like basic PA, you know, and it was just full of people. And I mean, the scope of it can go from like house shows and tiny little dive bars with cockroaches crawling around, all the way to like trees.
Yeah.
And I mean, honestly, we like all of it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to just play big, nice venues all the time.
Right.
I'd want to play the other stuff.
Right.
you
It's
know,
unique
so.
to the experience.
Yeah.
People
It
don't
is.
get it unless you're in. Unless you go through it, you kind of just like
Yeah.
find the love in it, the beauty in it.
Yeah.
What's some of your biggest on-stage mistakes?
Well,
Most
that-
embarrassing.
Well, the tree show. Well, it didn't happen on stage. It happened before the stage.
Oh,
You're-
no.
Yeah. His pants ripped.
Yeah.
Before we were about to go on stage,
Yeah.
Like, and it was noticeable. It was just down the
he had to
leg.
borrow Ryan's jeans.
So
Yeah,
I-
luckily I had
he-
an extra pair of jeans.
He had some like dirty work jeans, and I was like, well, it's either this or my, or you
Yeah.
can see my stuff.
Hey,
So,
it
you
out
know.
there, you know.
But ripped my pants.
a lot of strap breaking.
Yeah, I've
yeah,
broken
like
so many
yeah,
straps.
like-
will rip out.
Yeah.
I've done that. That's like
Um,
every other fourth show.
I mean,
I mean, Octopia 2016, you don't remember.
yeah. There's,
So-
there's been
Oh
some-
man, that might.
Like there's a couple
Some
videos.
blackout
There's a
shows.
couple of
Yeah.
videos of us playing, and like you
Yeah.
look at Riley and his eyes are like this big,
Yeah.
and he does not know where he is, and he's just.
But I watched the video and I was like, I did pretty good.
It's muscle
Right?
memory.
Yeah.
It's
So,
all muscle memory.
Yeah.
But oh god.
But rest assured, you know, we're professional. But
Ish.
yeah, ish.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I'd tell you my biggest mistake, but I can't remember it.
Yeah.
It was during a blackout.
There you go.
So check back over the footage.
Yeah.
Shows,
Yeah.
See what you can find.
Or
We'll start with Spence. What's your spirit animal?
It's definitely you're right. It's a narwhal. It's like the sea unicorn, but it's metal.
That sounds
It's
awesome.
fucking super metal. Have you ever seen one of those things, dude?
Wait,
No.
is that like?
It looks like a giant fucking like whale mixed with a walrus that has the fucking horn.
Okay, that's like an elf, right? Where elf is like. Buddy.
Yeah.
He's like goodbye, buddy.
Yeah, it's a giant fucking narwhal,
Yes,
dude. Those
dude.
things are so metal.
That's awesome.
probably say mine would be like Old Yeller.
Old
Yeah.
Because we
Spice.
gotta
Specifically.
have it
Yeah,
put you down.
Specifically Old Yeller.
Because you got rabies.
Because one day I'll probably contract.
Yeah.
I'll probably contract some like
Oh, no.
incurable disease, and like one of them will have to,
Put you
you
down.
know,
Oh, no.
probably Old Yeller.
Right.
Not
I
Old
think
Yeller.
yeah, no.
Old Yeller had a
Yeah.
good run, you know.
Yeah. He had a great run.
No pun intended.
Maybe a rabbit.
A rabbit.
Kind of have two big front teeth,
Oh,
and I don't know, scurry out of situations pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I
Jets
love,
get-
Yeah,
I love people's
Yeah.
answers
Yeah,
for that.
it's so
They,
great.
they really look inside.
We've
like,
never been
Yeah.
asked that on an interview.
Yeah. So I
That's-
kind of had to think
that's
about
one of my
that.
That was a
favorite
thinker.
Yeah, that's a good one. It is. It almost like throws you off for a second. Like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm gonna get crazy.
There's only
Okay.
so much that you can prepare for one of these.
Right.
Because, like, just recently, all three of us have started doing it together, but I've done a bunch. Like, I did one with y'all.
Right. Right.
I do them all the time. Talk about, like, my promoting business and the solo stuff and this, too. But, like, there's only so much you can, like, mentally prepare for the questions that have been asked
Right.
a million times, and then someone will throw your one. You're like, well,
Yeah,
That's a curve.
that's off.
I'm just going to go home now.
Yeah.
Did you just start one, or maybe you were on a new one that's in Denton, Don't Feed the Artist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
That was with our friends
In Moniker.
/
/ Samus David Jr.
and Hagen and Ambi do a lot of different stuff together. But we've known all those guys for a while. They ran a house show we used to play at. We've played countless shows with them by now.
They played our CD release show.
Yeah, they played our CD
last
release
week.
show.
Very nice.
But yeah, great band. We did one with them. Then we did one with our friends at Warlord Radio, and they're in the bands Diesel Beast and Silver Tongue Devil.
Okay.
So like the other group of friends was like our indie rock kind of friends, and then we have like our
Metal
metal
friends.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Because that's one thing I'm really happy about is we found this niche sound where we'll play with like indie bands or blues bands or sometimes like country bands, and it'll be different, but we'll flow with it.
Yeah.
And then we turn around and we can tailor the set list because we have so many songs now that we'll go to like Reno's Chop Shop and play with like devil worshipping bands.
Yeah,
So it's like, last week we were at a jazz club and tonight we're at a biker bar.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, we have friends all across the spectrum.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
try to dip our hand in wherever we can.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's how else do you get exposed to all the different types
Yeah.
of audiences out there.
Yeah.
You gotta saturate.
Well, man, damn, thanks for coming out here. You guys, you're an amazing drummer. I had to tell you that before you
thanks,
left.
man.
I was
We needed
blown
it
away by
on
your
the
drumming.
record.
It was all great, man, drummer. You were
Yeah, thanks, man.
blown away, man. It was really great.
Thank you.
Social media.
We are Facebook.com/The Infamous Band.
Okay.
Instagram is @The Infamists. Twitter is @The_Infamists. Our online shop is theinfamous.bandcamp.com.
Very nice.
We have Spotify, we have iTunes, all that stuff. And
This record that's been playing in the background the whole time will be on.
yeah, that'll be on
shortly.
there
Yes,
soon.
Streaming soon, but if you want a physical copy, head out to a show,
That's right.
pick one up.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. And where can people find your shows, or do y'all update them or some?
We have a
links
pinned
next-
post on the top
Yeah.
of our Facebook page.
Facebook.
yeah.
We try to keep all the other websites like Bandcamp will let you put in shows.
Right.
Try to keep it all updated pretty well. Facebook for sure.
Yeah.
And we're pretty good about posting regularly on everything. So usually we'll tag all the shows we have coming up too. So
Very nice.
it'll be all on there.
Very nice. Very nice.
Awesome.
Well, again,
Thanks
thank you
again.
guys.
Thanks,
Yeah.
dudes.
Yeah, thank you for
This is
having
great.
us.
Thanks for having us.
Cool beans.
See you guys later. Deuces.
All right.